You already know who it is. It's your boy B, the outlier, and I'm right back up at you guys with another episode of the Outlier Experience. You dig? And it is 4:30, 4:34 exactly, out here in Freeport, New York. That is Long Island, Nassau County, a suburb of New York City. How are you guys doing today, man? When you come on, you got to hit that like button. Also, give me a subscribe if this is the type of material that you guys are into. And what type of material is that? Just a regular brother on his way to work, speaking about things that's happening in life. These messages and some of these things are for people who are in a similar situation as me, people who may be in a similar situation as me in the future, and also for the children, man, for the children. I told myself, man, I'm 45 years old. I'm gonna start having children this year or early next year. And the fact of the matter is, I'm not gonna be around for them forever. So, putting this on paper, putting this on video, they can have an archive to go back to and say, this is what my pops was going through, man. I may be going through similar things. Let's see what my pops would have done, you know? And even if I don't have children, this could be something that your children can look at also, my people, you know? So we start the show with that 10%. And that 10% is going to be the health, also the career. And last but not least, we speak about personal growth and everything in between, my people. And today, the health. The health is good, man. The health is good. But again, I told you cats about the diabetes. I've been eating my meals. My weight has been coming up. I have been covering myself for all my shots. So now we working on drinking diets, man, and just more water. Those juices with a lot of drinks, with a lot of sugar in it, man, they ain't no good for you, my people. They are no good for you, man. I'm telling you. Look at the back of some of those juices, man. Look at the sugars and the added sugars and some of the ingredients. And you may be amazed at what you putting in your body, man, all of those carbs. And if your body works naturally, meaning your pancreas is working, you're getting the proper amount of insulin in your body, it may not harm you until you get a little bit older. But if you have like type 1, like me, where I don't have, well, actually type 3C, and that is a situation where they take out your pancreas and your body does not produce insulin. Those high fructose corn syrups, the regular juices, that sugars, it's a killer, kid. It's definitely a killer. You'll get so many carbs in your body, and your body will not be able to handle it. Somebody said, hey, what are you doing? I'm on my way to work, my boy. That is Child G Holster. What up? I'm on my way to work, man. On my way to work. Yes, sir. So, again, we're going to focus on not drinking as much juice, man. Get this thing down. Get it under control. Next, we talk about the career. And you cats know how my career has been going. It's been straight, you know. I took a step back, and I am definitely not spending as much regular time outside of work working on things, man. Somebody said, yo, what's going on? Somebody said, oh, no, no. Somebody said, oh, no, oh, no, all right? Somebody said, love the hustle. No doubt, you already know it is. Somebody said it's 1 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock where you are, my boy. Over here in New York, Nassau County, it is 4:38. Somebody said, all right. Somebody hit that like button. Yes, hit that like button if this is the type of stuff that you like. So, yeah, I stepped back from work a little bit, and we ain't getting into that. But today, I got 2 topics that I want to speak about, man. The first topic is going to be about relationships, man. And when it's too perfect, you know, me, I'm a thinker, you know, it's gonna lead into another thing, me and my systems thinking, you know. So a perfect relationship, man, perfect relationship. So when a woman is a little bit too perfect, man, you know, do you take that as a red flag or do you just rock with it, man? We're going to speak about that. And then last but not least, we're going to speak about individuality versus systems. And hopefully we could get through that because this is a continuation of the topic in which I was speaking about yesterday with Anton Daniels and Corey Holcomb. You know, it's a situation where I think both parties have good points. You know what I mean? Anton Daniels is a perfect example of somebody who made it up out the system. But Corey Holcomb and people who think like Corey Holcomb, they're gonna focus on the system overall. And me, I'll tell you, man, what I think it is a combination of both, where an individual can only be as successful as the system in which they're operating in. And we'll get more into that a little bit later. But let's go back to that relationship stuff, man, and start thinking about things being perfect, man. So we got 9 people in the chat, 3 likes, man. Have you guys ever entered into a relationship and it seems perfect? Have that ever happened to you, man? I give y'all a little bit of seconds to type in and tell me how you feel about it, you know? Because I'm going to tell you how I think about it, man. Somebody said, please stay safe. Somebody said, oh, my boy, them trees nice. Thank you, man. Thank you. Sounds cold. Yeah, it's cold. It's definitely cold out here. But a couple days ago, it was bad. Right now, I think it's like 30 degrees out here. Feel probably like 20 something. But a couple days ago, y'all, it was like 14 degrees. But with the wind chill factor and everything coming in out here in New York, it felt like 7 degrees, man. Freezing. Freezing, freezing, freezing. Somebody said those trees are nice. Thank you, man. Trees are nice, man. The leaves are falling off of most of them, you know? But in the summertime, these things are nice and green, man. We got some real good wildlife out here. Possums, raccoons, squirrels, all different types of things in North America. They said, please stay safe. Yeah, I'm gonna try to stay safe out here, man, you know? Try to stay safe. Somebody said, may the Lord to keep you safe, my brother in Christ. All right, my brother in Christ. We could talk about Christ. We'll talk about things like that a little bit later, not in this episode, but in another episode. Somebody said, dude's trying to take credit for the trees. Who taking credit for the trees? Y'all stupid, man. All right. Somebody said, with speed. Yes, yes. All right, so yeah. So a perfect relationship, man, perfect relationship. Let's say you meet a woman, or if you're a woman and you meet a man, and they got all the perfect signs, man. They know exactly what to do. They know what shoes to put forward for a man. They know what you like. They know what to say to you. They know how to look at you in the face. They know how to kiss you. They know how to do all of that stuff, man. Are they acting, you know, or is it just a situation where everybody's just on the same page and it's just running smoothly? What y'all think about that? Somebody said, you got black on you. Somebody said, you got the blick on you. Somebody asking these questions, man. I can't tell you all that, man. I can't tell you if I got the blicky on me. Somebody said, are you strapped? Somebody said, go home. Nah, I just left home, man. I'm going to work right now. They asked me if I got the blicky on me, man. If I'm protected, if I'm strapped out here. This is how I feel about it, man. This is how I feel about it. Yeah, there are some people out right now on the creep. People out here that's doing some things that they not supposed to be doing. But I don't really focus on that, man. You understand what I'm saying? Like, have I gotten robbed before? Yeah, I got robbed before. You feel me? I got robbed before. But, you know, me getting robbed, that was my stupidity. That was my stupidity the day I got robbed. And I'm going to tell y'all about it. Somebody said, you got the drum on it? Y'all crazy, son. Let me tell y'all the day I got robbed, man. This was back in 1999, early 2000, man. You know, and I was a little young whippersnapper, 20 years old, 19 years old, a little bit of flashy. I had a little chain that I had got for Christmas, one of those anvils with the Lord Jesus Christ on it. You feel me? Chain, flashy. My shorty, she was kind of cute at the same time. And I'm only 5'8", you dig? 5'8", 5'9". And at the time, I'm skinny. You understand what I'm saying? 160, 165, skinny dude, you know? And I was walking to the movie theater with my girl. He didn't have, what'd he say? He didn't have the switchy. Nah, even if I would have had the switch, I wouldn't have shot nobody, man. You know, for somebody like me to shoot somebody, it's going to take a whole lot. You know, somebody coming up with their hands and trying to just take a chain or something, I don't think going push me to wanting to shoot them. I would probably want to shoot somebody if they was coming in my crib, trying to burglarize my house. If I have my kids and my wife up in there, then I think that creates a different situation. Or if I fear for my life, like somebody got a gun on me, then I feel like, I'm going to have to do something, you feel? But yeah, so I had gone to the movies that day with my shorty, and it was some cats on the bike, like 4 or 5 cats on the bike, man. Again, I told you I'm like 19, 20 at the time, looking a little bit younger. So I'm walking down the block, and they with their bikes, and they say some funny stuff to my girl. And I was a little bit more cockier, a little more braggadocious at the time. So when they said that to her, I said something to them. So y'all know somebody said, "Are you a gang member?" Somebody said, "No, I'm not a gang member. Not a gang member. Not a gang member." So yeah. So they approached us and they stopped on their bike because they have the numbers. And these are, some of these cats are bigger. I'm short. I'm 5'8", 5'9". These cats, a couple of them was like 6 feet. They got weight on them. And it's just a single me and my girl. So they approached me or whatever, about 4 or 5 of them. They got off the bike and I'm like, I told my girl, I'm like, "Hey, babe, keep walking down the street. I'm gonna go talk to these cats." So they was following us. So I told my girl to keep going. I turned around to go talk to them. And I'm like, "Yo, why y'all following me?" And they talking some nonsense or whatever. They see my chain. They like, "Yo, take his chain." So they say that. I swing on one of them. Boom. Next thing I know, all 4 of them, we just throwing punches at each other, man. Throwing punches at each other. They grabbed my chain, but I grabbed one of them, made sure one of them wasn't leaving. Other people on the streets, they seen it. They're like, "Oh, why y'all doing that to him?" And we just sitting over there fighting. And I grabbed one of them, make sure he wouldn't get away. But, homie eventually did get away. And they got my chain. You understand? They got me. They really got me. And from that point on, I was shook, kid. Not so much shook because I still walk around my neighborhood, but at the same time, I was like, damn, I can't be walking out here with nothing. Because I'm over here and these cats could do whatever the hell they want to me. So I started walking around with bats, like, them little short, naughty by nature bats. What my people say. Somebody said braggadocious. Yes, sir, I was. Somebody said real perfection in relationships allows for the right flaws to help us grow. We're people. No one doesn't smell a bit. Facts. What does fast talking got to do with jogging or the cold? You dumb mother effer, mind your business. I ain't asking you, clown. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. Somebody said, "Where you from?" Hey, yo, what up, though, family? My boy Golden Child on the check-in. What up, Golden Child? How you been, my brother? Somebody said, "Where I'm from?" I'm from Long Island, man. Long Island. Yeah, so, basically what happened, we had a fight. They took my chain or whatever. And, that was my story of me getting robbed. And I did walk around like with bats and with razors, because back in like the early 2000s in New York, that's where cats used to walk around with razors. And, you get your face sliced, you get sliced, and people walking around with bats. And one day I was trying to get into a party, a club, right? And I forgot that I had that damn thing on me, that razor on me. So I tried getting the club, and the guard seen it. And, I had to ask myself, man, am I going to use this goddamn razor? Am I going to use this bat? And what type of situations would make me want to use these things? So I stopped carrying all that type of stuff because I'm like, man, of course you want to be prepared, but it doesn't really go down like that a lot. You understand? So that's why I stopped really carrying that type of stuff. And now I just, hopefully I don't get into no nonsense. You feel me? You could run up or whatever, but, it ain't like I'm going to be scared or nothing. But that's my story on that, Somebody said, "Are you on O Block?" 4-5 got kicked. Somebody said the 4-5 got a kick. Somebody said, "Are you on O Block?" Nah, I ain't on O Block. Nah, I ain't from over there, bro. I can just tell you about Long Island. Can't tell you about O Block. I ain't from over there, son. I'm not from Chicago. I ain't from the Bronx. I ain't from Brooklyn. I'm from Long Island. You dig? And in my area, that's how I survived. I can't talk or I can't speak for anyone else, but that's how I survived. You dig? So, yeah, let's get back to that perfect stuff, man. Perfect. I don't know, son. I don't know. For me, things have been a battle. You know what I mean? A battle. Not so much of a battle because there are situations where things just fall right into pocket, where they feel what Be Live is cooking, or they smell what the outlier is cooking. And in those type of situations, things go right, man. They be perfect. But then sometimes I've been with women who they don't smell what Be Live is cooking. You understand? They don't smell what the outlier is cooking. They don't smell it. So in those type of situations, I feel both of us, men and women, we both go onto the defensive and try to make the person see some of the things that you do, some of the things that, okay, they may take this for granted, but this is a strong foot that I feel I have. And in those situations, I think that, it gets rough. What we got on the check-in? Somebody said, if you smell, exactly. Tweakers walk 24/7. He said, family, I feel like it's been a spiritual warfare. What y'all think? He said, this is spiritual warfare. They talking about spirituals and spiritual warfare. Y'all be taking my chats into something that I don't even like getting into, man. I think it is a spiritual warfare to a certain extent, and some people gonna take that spirit and they gonna make it a religious type thing, Do I look at it as a religious type thing? Somebody said you sound like Denzel. Another person saying I sound like Denzel. When first time y'all said that, I was tripping. But now, you know what? You right. I do sound like Denzel. But you know what else? I don't give a about you. I don't give a about Raheem. Where I get that from? That's from Juice. But yeah, every live somebody come up in and say I sound like Denzel. So we got three things on the check-in. We got those relationships, we got spiritual warfare, and then systems. I ain't gonna get into the systems today. I'm probably gonna have to do that after work. But yeah, I do think that, a red flag definitely goes up in my head when I see a woman who's perfect. What I mean is that they know the right things to say, they know the right things to do in bed, they know the right things to make you feel like a man. You understand what I'm saying? And when it happens very, very, very quickly with not a lot invested, then of course those red flags start going up in my head. But when that type of stuff start happening and, in due time, you start seeing that, damn, they really into the stuff that I'm into. Like, I speak about certain things. They have the same way of thinking about it and looks at it similarly to the way I look at it. The way I dress, they just like people who dress like that. They into fragrances, just like you into fragrances. They are into like the lifestyle, like you speak about how you would feel a relationship should be or a marriage should be. And all your thoughts are similar, and it unfolds in a great amount of time, like the right and proper amount of time, and everything seems just organic. In those situations, I think, all right, there can be a perfect person for you, and you just like, damn, this relationship does not feel like work, But if it comes too fast, you know what I mean? And it's, you're not too much invested and you guys don't really know each other like that and everything just seems perfect, that's a red flag to me. And in those situations, time will tell. Time will tell. Somebody said, I got you, home. Somebody said, we got this. Somebody said, I am glad somebody feel that SHIT. It's been heavy. Jesus said, let he who is without sin cast the first stone. Facts, 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 facts. So, all right, since y'all pushed me to this spiritual stuff, we're going to get into it slightly because it is getting kind of late. I got 8 minutes to make that train, which I should. So spirits, do I believe in spirits? Spirits. I don't think it's anything coming from God. Stuff like that, you know what I mean? I feel spirits are like, how should I say it? I don't think you got a spirit. I think that you got a personality. I think that your personality carries itself and people can feel your aura. And aura, I'm not saying it's like a spirit. It's just like the signals that you're sending that's coming off from you. And I think that people can most definitely feel that. So people that I've known in my life, they have different spirits. Sometimes they're happy, sometimes they're sad, sometimes they're hurt, sometimes they have different types of emotions. And depending on how they're feeling, that's what they're gonna put out in this world. You feel me? That's what they're gonna put out in this world. So there's been times with me, myself, where I've been happy, I put out nothing but love, and someone would say I have a bright spirit. But then there has been times where I have been hurt, and I may not have gone out to purposely hurt someone, but my outlook on the world, like, all right, this person trying to take something from me, so I'm gonna be guarded. And then the next person I meet, I'm guarded against, and, I'm not open with them, and, I'm doing types of things. And in that type of situation, someone can say my spirit is another way. So I think that it's not about spirits, it's about how you feel at the time, you know what I mean? And you always want to be putting out positive things. So you gotta ask yourself, what makes me positive? What makes me happy? How can I keep myself in these types of modes so I could push out these types of emotions? you know? But we getting deep in it. My walk got to stop right now because I am at this fine establishment, 7-Eleven. Y'all know I get my coffee every morning. You feel me? I'm up out here. Let me read the comment. Somebody said, my screen is cracked and blurry. Is this Don Lemon? Y'all stupid. Somebody said, that's true, family. Somebody said, only you. My boy Mott said, Don Lemon. Somebody said, personality is a distortion. We are all spirit living in a physical body with a mind. I like that, B. You're a real one. Thanks, Golden Child. Somebody said, you're going to shoot somebody. Or am I going to shoot somebody? Nah, I ain't going to shoot nobody. I ain't hurt right now. You know what I mean? They say hurt people. And I'm happy right now. So I'm going to push off happiness. You know what I mean? What somebody else said. We waiting for something to happen. Something to happen. Something to happen. Ain't nothing gonna happen right now, man. Ain't nothing gonna happen right now, you know? But I'm about to get up out of here. Somebody said, my boy Golden Child said, may the Lord bless you every day in this chat. Thank you very much. Bless all you guys, man. Thanks all. Somebody said, not by the police station. Big Mike, you stupid, man. All right, we up out here, man. Thank you guys for listening. We got 12 people who like. I love y'all. We up out here. I'm about to go catch this train. About to go make me a coffee. We up out here, man. I love y'all. Peace out.